something that I want to say on top of that, which is relating to the times that we're in, relating to the challenging times, because I believe that as Christians, the encouragement will come at the end of this. What I'm saying is, as Christians, we need to be aware of what's going on around us and shouldn't put our heads in the sand and pretend things aren't happening. And we need to then, once we're aware of it, then we can pray into those specific situations, but we shouldn't be in denial of what's going on. And this is, and PCAM, we've been working for the last 2 years and engaging around 6,000 people who are disadvantaged and need some sort of support and needs. And what I'm talking about here are the recent government cuts and more cuts that are going to be happening, and how that is going to affect us as the body of Christ, and especially those people who are disadvantaged, those people who need support, because those are the people who are in for a really tough time. And, you know, the government are asking more for less from service providers. You know, they're giving less money and they want more out of them. And I'm going to get to the point here, but so I'm just going to give you an example, because this is happening across the board. It's happening in all different services, whether it's the criminal justice system, whether it's the health service, whether it's education. This is the challenge that we're facing. And so I'm going to look at an example from the criminal justice system. And I just ask God for wisdom so that I can communicate it clearly. Lord, give me a wisdom. Previously, smaller organisations were able to go to the Home Office, they were able to go to the National Offender Management Service, they were able to go to probation for funding and that sort of thing. But that's changing. That's changing. And this is happening, like I said, across the board. And just to give you an example, so that you can so that you can understand that the average cost for supporting someone into employment is £1,500. For someone who's long-term unemployed, the average is about £2,800. And that depends on their level of support. Now, for an ex-offender, it costs something between £5,000 and £6,000 to support them into employment with the multiple needs and support needs that are required. And that's not including long-term mentoring and that kind of thing that they might need. That doesn't include that. But even though it costs more, it's still a small price to pay, because it's an investment, because it costs a lot more if they go back into prison. Now, last year, the European Social Fund and the National Offender Management Service were offering £1,800 to support an ex-offender. After I said that it costs £5,000 to £6,000, they were offering £1,800 last year. The recent funding that has come out, it's a big pot, 20 million, but when you break it down, they're offering 1,100 per ex-offender to support them. So you can see there isn't enough money to support them. It costs 5,000 to 6,000 and they're offering 1,100. Now, what this means practically is that what's happening now is you've got these multi-million pound corporations and organisations that are coming in to win that money, and then what they're doing is they're developing services that are just churning people through. So they're just churning ex-offenders through these services as quickly as possible, and they're just creaming off those that are closest to the job market. Those that are most disadvantaged, they're just not working with, because they know that there's too much work. So they're just creaming off the best people, they're churning them through to earn maximum profits. So, is everybody still following? Yeah. What I'm saying? So, what that also means is that there's less money for the smaller organisations. So there's nothing for them. And the money there is, because these large organisations will try to subcontract some of that out, but they're trying to offer them money that it's impossible for them to support ex-offenders with. It's just not happening. So having said all of that, the question is, what is the solution? You know, we know that this is what we're up against, but we need a solution. We need to do something. We can't just stop and just let it happen. You know, and I believe the solution is the body of Christ. It is the body of Christ. And at the moment, we're looking at ways that churches and faith groups can get more involved in trying to support people from disadvantaged communities, support ex-offenders back into the community. Because if we don't start trying to do it, then no one else is going to. No one else is going to do it. You know, so, like I said before, I'm just remembering what I said. When things look at their worst, it's the time when things are about to happen. It's the time when things are about to happen. So we need to be not discouraged, but we need to be saying, Lord, so what is it that you want us to do in this situation? You know, because it's always been in the Bible, every time you read the Bible, it's always in the most challenging times when God raises up his people. You know, and we're coming into those times now, so we need to start preparing for doing that. Hey, can you start doing that? So what I want to do as well, this morning in church we watched this video, and it's a story about a father and a son, which illustrates to me how God walks with us in the most challenging situations, and how he walks with us through everything, and how much he loves us, and that he will not leave us, and that he will not forsake us. And I found it so encouraging just watching this morning. So it'd be great for us to just watch this, and then when we finish, if you can give us, play something. Thank you very much.